Hello everyone. I'm making this video because it seems like some people want some help making some graphs with the new Fannie Mae update. I'll show you what we'll be making and see if it's something that interests you. I'll make them a little prettier when we do it. This is a median sales price by month. This kind of looks like that graph that Fannie Mae put out in their update. Same graph, just with the median values to the left side. I'll also run you through how to do a regression chart, and then I'll show you how to get the output out of that regression too. So here we go. I've exported some data from my local MLS over here. These are the address. I just switched it over here for privacy. To start off with, and I'm going to be going through this for people that might not have ever used Excel. You're going to click equals, month, and then you double click where you see the month at. Then you click over here, close the parenthesis and enter. That will give you a 7. So when I make these graphs, I'm just going to be including all of July and all of whatever month into the same month. You'll see what I mean here in a second. So now I have that going. Next, I'm going to be taking the median for all of these months. And to do that, let me go back and get the formula from this side. Alright, so that's when I got that formula. I'm going to be starting with the month 1. You'll see here why in a second. I'm going to hit equals, and then I'm going to copy and paste that formula. These are going to be wrong. Okay. I'll just type it in to begin with. So you type filter, your array, the selling price. Go ahead and select that whole row. Go click comma. You want to include, whoops. You want to include this row. And then we're going to hit equals to 1. So now it's showing us that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cells, or 7 sales in the month of January. I'm going to double click that again. Go up to the top here, and we're going to type in median. Then you got a parenthesis around filter, and then close it over here, and enter. So now in that first month, in January, there's $301,000 is our median. I'm going to do it for the rest of these. See if I can just drag down. No. Someone who's better at Excel could probably figure out how to just drag that down. So for me, it makes me do it automatically each time. I copy and pasted that earlier. Now I'm just going to put in, it's already 2. Copy and paste. Change that to 3 for the 3rd month. But you got to type in equals first. So I'm going to pause the video and manually do those real quick. So I started with January because I was hoping I'd be able to drag those all down. That didn't quite happen. I'm going to just manually put January into here at the bottom. Because this is a current chart, so I'm going to be starting in February. And then, so it's February 3rd now, so there won't be any data from this month. That's one thing you want to watch out for too. At this step, if you have data from February 24 and February 25, then it's all going to count towards that 2 right there. So that's something to keep an eye out for, whether when you're selecting for your data, if you're just not going to include last year's or this year's, depending on the date. That's something that you have to decide and figure out. But just be aware that it will count 24 and 25 data together. And that's also something I kind of forgot. These ones you're going to need to actually put a year to them. So to do that, you can go 2/1/24, and you click it, make sure it's reading it right, home, date. And on these dates, just to make it look pretty, and you don't want to mislead them by saying that it's the first, because it's not, you're going to go up to this number section, and you're going to create a custom one. And with that, so it's going to be M/YY. Let's see if it'll let me drag it down this time. No. Okay, so I'm going to manually put those in, and then I'll be pause it to do that, and I'll be back. Just to remind you though, when you're putting them in like this, you have to put that for, or like the day of one, like 4/1/24. Otherwise, it's just not going to read it right. And again, I'm not the best with Excel. Someone else could probably do better than me. Okay, so now that we have this, you're going to want to find the percent change. And I don't know if it's helpful or not to find the percent change between each month, but with that Fannie Mae graph that they put out in the update, they were showing the change from the beginning. So I'm going to consider this, let's label it. I'm going to consider our start date at 0%, and then we're going to go from there. So to do this, parentheses, minus the original divided by the original. So that's just telling us that between February and March that we've gone down 2%. So I'll do one more just so you can see. Parenthesis, April minus, we're using the original, so make sure you go back up to February's and then divide by February. Okay, I'm gonna manually input these. Okay, so now I've manually input all those. I'm gonna highlight this row, and then I'm gonna turn it into a percentage. And you can change how many decimal places you want. I think 1 decimal place will suffice for now. So from here, you're going to select this row, hold control, select this row, go home, insert recommended charts. You want a line graph for this one. It's usually the first one. So now you got something that looks like this. Make it bigger. Let's get this out of the middle. To do that, you right click it, format axis, labels, and you want to hit next. You want to go low. Okay. If I want to label it with some data labels, to do that, for now you just click data labels. All of these percent changes will pop up. You click one, then you drag to make it look prettier. I'll do a couple. Kind of hard. Alright. From here you can do some labels, axis titles. You just click it. There's ways to center them with the buttons on the right side, or you can just drag them. Same with that. Let's put a trend line in there. And to do that, you click the plus, trend line, and then I usually click away, and then go back to it and right click and hit format trend line. There you can do the display the equation on the chart. kind of gives us a funky equation. So we're going to want to turn this into a percentage. So you go up to it, you right click, format trendline data label, category, percentage. So now that percentage, remember, your slope, it's going to be going down 0.01% per day. So you're going to have to make the calculations on that for what that is a month. When you do that, at 0.01, it gets a little funky. I'm going to add a couple of decimal places so that you can have a better idea of, see that it actually is the slope of that trend line. So right there. So when you use that negative 0.0091%, multiply it by 365 days, you end up with negative 0.03%, or negative 0.0332. So if I took it out more decimal places, I'd probably be right, pretty dang close to that, where it's putting us at, because it's putting us pretty close to that negative 3.2%. To be honest, I am not super sure what the y-intercept's doing here. I mean, to me, it looks like the y-intercept is at 0, maybe slightly right above it. I don't know if that's because I put the whole thing in percentage and Excel's not reading it right. I also don't know. I kind of imagine that there's a way to get that out of the days and make it by month increments so that your slope is by month. Maybe somebody on this video will comment on how to take care of that. If you want to do a similar graph but put the medians on one side, you can select these, insert recommended chart, line chart. To format this a little better, you can left or right click on the format axis. The minimum looks like 250,000, and same graph's moving the same way. Put a trend line in there. Format trend line. Display the equation on the chart. So this equation is telling us that we're going down about $28 a day in value. And, so this trend line here too, this as far as analyzing these trends, from February last year to February this year, you're going up, down, up, down, up, down. And to kind of make sense of it too, I think it's fair. You have to decide whether it's fair for your market or whatever. But putting a trend line in there just puts it takes the equal space between each of those data points pretty much, and gives you the way things are trending. So I think it's probably a helpful tool. And also with this one, the data label is a little bit different. Click the star or the plus. Do data labels. When you do that, it's gonna pop in those numbers, and you probably don't want those. So you go to more options. Text options. Okay, so label options. This bar graph one. Take value out. Do value from cells. Come up to here. Select these. Hit enter. Now you got same thing telling you what way things are trending. Kind of quick, kind of dirty. At least not the prettiest. You might be able to make it prettier. If you at least it visualizes data a little bit easier for you if you need to talk about what adjustments you're making. And if you're that is if you're just using your median comparable sales to make or median sales price to make adjustments. But at least it helps maybe talk about the market. I'll show you again. I'll show you real quick how to do a regression graph. So for the regression, we're going to do a scatter plot instead of a line chart. And then I've been using the full date instead of just the months. Yeah, I'm not super good with Excel. Okay, so select sell date, select selling price. Then insert recommended, maybe they might give you one. Oh, I'm sorry. I remember this doesn't work super well when you do it like that. So how I'm going to do it, I'm going to just go up to charts, click scatter, and do it manually. So once you get that down there, right click, select data. Add. It keeps popping that to my other screen. X value is these dates. I think it might let you take the label in there too. I'm not sure. Sometimes it messes things up when you bring the label in. So I've just been labeling afterwards. When you put in the Y value, I always delete that before I put my Y values in. Y value again is the sale price of all of these. You're not doing medians here. Okay. Gives you something like this. Again, you can throw a trend line in there. Oh, no legend for now. Go in here and click on the trend line. Right click on it and format it. Display the equation, and then you want to display the R squared. Pretty bad R squared there. So let me show you something here as far as getting rid of some outliers. You're not, I mean, more than likely you don't want to delete any of your data. You might not want to show what outliers you're not using to your client. I'm not sure. It's probably your decision on that thing. So let me take a look here. So if you look at the top dot, it's up about 450,000. If you just delete it, that's this dot up here, right here, this data point. If you just delete it, then it removes the one that was up here. So I'm going to undo, and it pops it back up right there. So instead of doing that, here's another thing you can do. Click on the data, a point. Okay, that didn't work. So what we're going to do, say you want to not use that one, bring it over, make a column, bring it over here. Go back up to this graph. Now that 451 isn't on there. Click up here, I guess. Right click, do select data. You're going to want to add a series. X value, again, you're just going to take this whole row. Y values, get rid of that, and then start at the bottom of your series, or top, just get the whole line. So do OK. Now they're both selected, series 1, series 2, hit OK. So now you can see that that dot is orange. Now that data point isn't being used to calculate my R squared or any of my slope anymore. So if I want to keep, saying, I don't know, just for sake of argument, I'm going to take out a couple of these top ones, maybe 3 of them. Which I'm sure you want a more exact way of doing this whenever you're doing your analysis. This is kind of to look at how to do it. I'm going to take a look at the bottom ones. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna take it out about 7 of these bottom ones. All right. So that's changed my R value a little bit. Still not good R value. Here's a nice thing Excel does for you. You go to data in the top, and then you go all the way to the right to data analysis. This is something that isn't installed defaultly within Excel. It's going to be something you have to download. It just takes a second. I did it last night, and I can't remember how I got it up there, but I'm sure if you just Google how to install data analysis in Excel to your, I think they call it taskbar. I found it pretty easily. So anyway, click data analysis. I'm already on regression. Hit regression. These are my old data numbers. Let's get rid of those and this. Again, your Y value is this. So I'm only going to use the ones that we deemed that weren't outliers, or I deemed that wasn't an outlier. So there's my Y. I'm going to do the same, keep those same boxes for the X, start there. And then this output range is just where you want it to end up. So I want my output range to end up, oh geez, I messed that up. So click the output range. This is where I want my output range to end up, and I need to put my X values in one more time because I messed up. Okay, now you hit OK. And it gives you some summary output. That's just, things to do with the regression model. This one's not a very good one to use it on. Not really telling. I already looked through this before. It tells me there's not really a correlation between sale price and sale date. So if you want to see something that is a better correlation, we'll do that real quick, or I'll do that after in a second. For right now, though, that's basically it. And then this data matches up with that line too, just so you know. The one thing I do want to warn you about, I can't show you because it has some personal information when I hit save, but when you save this file, it defaultly saves as a CSV, I think. If you want to keep, so if you save it, just hit save, it's gonna, when you pull it back up again, your graphs won't be there. The only way I figured out how to not do that is by saving it as an Excel workbook. I think that's like an ENV. I don't know exactly, but it says Excel workbook. Save it like that, and you won't have any problem using it again. As far as taking these graphs and putting them into your report, I don't know if there's a good way to save that. Oh yeah, save as picture. There you go. That's how you put them in. That's about it. Hopefully that helped and you didn't just waste 20 minutes. Stick around if you want to see me do square foot value and see a better analysis or a better regression analysis. I'm still not going to talk too much about how you analyze the regression analysis, but you can see a little better one here. So I just put a little label, keep track of what things are doing. Go up to data again, data analysis, regression, get rid of these points. Do my X value. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not doing sell date. I am doing square footage and seeing how that impacts sell price. I keep doing that. Make sure, yeah. Okay. So there's my outputs there. I'll make a graph to go along with this right by it. I'll talk about it for a second, I guess. X is square footage. Y is sale price. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna quick and easily get rid of this first one because this first one I know through the MLS it was the it's just in need of rehabilitation. I don't think it's gonna be a good data point for my graph. There's a couple others. I'll get this going a little bit. Format axis. Okay. I'm gonna take two of those biggest square footage ones off. I think that's one of them. Looks like I still got one that's at 2400. I'm gonna pause it while I find that automatically. And I'm not moving these over to where you can see them. You could do the thing I showed you before, but I'm not doing a graph to show anybody, so I'm just showing you how these analysis kind of. Okay, so now it's a little tighter with data. It still looks like there's a few outliers on there. I'm just gonna throw a trend line up there for now and see what kind of R value I got going on. So my R value, or R squared value, that's up there. It's a lot better than the last one.